Good morning, Year 8. I hope you're well and having a lovely day. For today's lesson, you will need your exercise book or paper, a pen, and the extract Swimming with Whales in Tonga. Please make sure you have that now. Please could you write the date and the title? The title is Swimming with Whales in Tonga Continued. So your do now should take 5 minutes, and for that, I would like you to brain dump everything you can remember about swimming with whales in Tonga. So please pause the video for 5 minutes to do that now. Okay, so the main task of today's lesson will be to create an evaluative paragraph answering the following question. The writer presents swimming with whales as a terrifying experience. To what extent do you agree with the statement? In order to answer this question, we need to think about what an evaluative question wants us to do. You have 5 minutes to jot down what you think you need to include when answering an evaluative question. Pause the video now to do that. Okay, so an evaluative question wants us to consistently measure how much they agree with the statement. So your initial point will be, I partially agree, or I mostly agree, or I completely disagree. It also requires supporting comments with explanations. You are explaining how your evidence supports your point. Evidence must be used consistently, so you must be including a number of quotations, well-chosen quotations, from the text in question. You need to make developed comments on how readers view the evidence. You need to have sustained skills across multiple ideas, offering ideas that cover both sides of the argument. So you need to make one side of the argument and then say however or on the other hand and present the other side of the argument. With regards to the previous slide, please make sure you noted down those points. So, now that you've thought about what an evaluative question requires from you, you can begin to prepare to answer the main question of today. In order to analyse this effectively, we need to think about both sides of the argument. So for your next task, you will have 7 minutes. What I would like you to do is, using 2 different highlighters, go through the extract and colour code evidence that shows the experience to be terrifying and evidence that shows it is not. So 2 highlighters for 2 different sides of the argument. Please pause the video now. Okay, so these are example quotations you may have chosen. So examples of terrifying. I've always been afraid of deep water. Beneath the surface there was stillness, vastness and silence. 18-foot-long marine mammal. At such close range, her size was overwhelming, a moving wall of whale. What could he have made of me? Evidence for not terrifying. This was an experience I'd wanted so badly that I'd put aside my trepidation, which means fear, about Big Blue. His beauty thrilled me, almost to the point of pain. The calf took a breath and started wiggle swimming in our direction. Curious baby who was now turning a backward somersault. So if you didn't get these points, please could you write them down? Okay, in the article Swimming with Whales in Tonga, the writer presents swimming with whales as a terrifying experience. To what extent do you agree with this statement? Based on the evidence collected, how far do you agree with this statement? What are your reasons? Write down your initial thoughts now, please. You have 5 minutes. Okay, I would now like you to take some time to read through the mark scheme. So pause the video now to read through it. Ideally, you want to be focusing on the top 2 bands because you are a very, very bright group and you should ideally be aiming for the top band. Okay, so this is the kind of paragraph you should be creating. I partially agree with the statement, as the extract does display swimming with whales as a terrifying experience through her imagery of the size of the whales and how daunting the experience can be. This can be seen when the mother is described as a moving wall and how her size is overwhelming. However, I cannot fully agree, as the extract also presents swimming with whales as a beautiful and fulfilling experience. The writer states how it is an experience that she wanted so badly, and because of this, she put aside her trepidation. As a result, I feel as though the writer portrays swimming with whales as both a terrifying and rewarding experience. These combined descriptions help to paint a visual picture of the experience to the reader and make them feel as though they are there. So this is the kind of paragraph you need to create. So your task: you have 15 minutes to create 2 paragraphs answering the following question. The writer presents swimming with whales as a terrifying experience. To what extent do you agree with this statement? Points to think about or cover. Measure the extent that you agree with the statement. Refer to the statement throughout your answer. How is this seen in the text? What evidence do you have that shows this point? How does this evidence support your point? Include both sides of the argument, a however point. How does this make the reader think or feel? So pause the video for 15 minutes to do this now. And finally, I would like you to spend 5 minutes reflecting. Based on the extract, I would like you to write a few sentences answering the following question. After reading this extract, would you want to swim with whales? Why or why not? So pause the video for 5 minutes to do that. And that brings us to the end of today's lesson. Thank you very much for your hard work. I hope you found it interesting and enjoyable, and I will see you next time.